How's it going, everyone? Marriland here, and yeah, we're gonna check out Route 1 to the north. So this is the first route in the game, and it's the first place where you'll be able to find Pokemon in the wild. Now, if you're familiar with older Pokemon games, you may be familiar with walking around in the tall grass and then running into Pokemon, and you fight them, and you gain experience that way. Well, they've changed it a little bit in Let's Go. You can now see the Pokemon wandering around on the field, and you fight them, and you just catch them. You don't actually send out a Pokemon to fight against them. Similar to how you caught Eevee or Pikachu in, well, technically you were on Route 1. So at this point, you'll have a little bit more in the way of options here. None of these really help for right now, other than run away, which you can choose if you'd like to run away and not bother fighting the Pokemon. You don't have to check your speed stat or anything like that. You just instantly run away. So we're gonna do that just to kind of show you how that works. You can also press B, and then that will automatically set you to run away. Well, here, I'll show you really fast as we fight this Rattata. So there are 3 Pokemon on the route. Yeah, see, if you just press B, it's a nice little shortcut. So there are 3 Pokemon on the route. There's Rattata, there's Pidgey, and then there's either Bellsprout if you're playing Let's Go Eevee, or its counterpart, Oddish, if you're playing Let's Go Pikachu. Now, those two might be a little unfamiliar to you if you're used to playing the older games. It's like, wow, wait, there's a grass type here. You're definitely going to want to get them at some point, but you don't necessarily need them right this moment. However, this is a great way to gain experience. As you can see here, as you catch Pokemon, you get experience points, and you actually get quite a lot. So you get a bonus multiplier based on how good your throw was and a bunch of other factors, such as, in this case, it's a new Pokemon, so I get a little bit of an extra bonus for that. It's a great throw, which means I lined it up with that green ring you saw. It was the first throw, which means I caught it on the first try, which is definitely beneficial. And yeah, technique bonus, that's if you're not playing it on handheld mode, which, by the way, the handheld mode is entirely different. So as you catch Pokemon, they will be added to your party. You're going to be catching a lot of Pokemon in this game, and a lot of duplicates too. So that's definitely something that may be a little bit of a confusing thing. It's like, wait, why would I want to catch another Rattata? Well, there's a few reasons. First of all, you might end up finding a really good Rattata. Each individual Pokemon has individual stats. So if you have 2 Rattatas that are the same level and more or less the same, they might have different stats. So you can find good stats for your Pokemon. If you're looking to train a specific species, maybe catch a few of them. So you also gain a catch combo as you catch multiples of the same Pokemon. I wouldn't worry too much about that right now, but that is very helpful for encountering rare Pokemon later on. So let's take a look at these 2 Rattata. Why would you want to catch 2 Rattata? You know, going back to that earlier point. Well, you have options now. Like, you can take a look at their stats. You can see maybe one of them will have better stats, one of them will have worse. These look pretty much the same, although this one seems to have a lot better stats despite being only a level 3. So it's probably a little bit better. But that's another reason why you'd want to catch multiple Pokemon. But mostly it's for the experience. Okay, so let's catch this version exclusive here, Bellsprout. Again, this would be Oddish if you are playing Let's Go Pikachu. They're more or less the same. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You don't need to catch one right now, but you might as well. There's only 3 Pokemon in your game that you can catch on the route, so you might as well challenge yourself to get all of them. Here's a little bit about Bellsprout, just in case you're curious. Alright, so back on the route. Let's kind of mention what this guy says. So there are these ledges here. These are one-way ledges. If you hop down them, you can't go back up. Now, obviously in this situation, I can just walk right here. But there are certain one-way areas. Like, as you can see, there's quite a few ledges here. It'd be nice if I could just walk up them, but I can't. But that's fine. You'll see these a lot later on, don't worry. So, as we go further along here, Oh, I want to find a Pidgey. That's the other Pokemon you can get here. So, I should probably talk about their types. Bellsprout and Oddish. Aw, it flew away. Bellsprout and Oddish are both grass poison types. They have 2 types, and that's rather helpful. You'll definitely want to pick one up for later, as I keep saying, but you don't necessarily need it right now. There's Pidgey here, which is a normal flying type, and it's fairly decent. I wouldn't advise against it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's great, but you might as well catch it. It'll also gain some experience points for the rest of the Pokemon on your team, so you might as well. And then, Rattata, it's just a normal type, and it's actually pretty good. It has a lot of attack power, so it can be pretty nice early on. However, I'll just tell you, regardless of whether you have an Eevee or a Pikachu as your partner, you're going to want to use it early on. Its stats completely overshadow anything else that you could get. Look at these stats compared to everything else. Seriously, your Eevee or your Pikachu are just unbelievably strong, so definitely don't worry about depending on them early on in the game. As you do actual fights against other Pokemon using your own Pokemon, you'll definitely be fine just using your Eevee. You actually don't get that much experience from trainer battles, which I'll show you later on. So anyway, as you walk over here, your partner Pokemon will notice something in the bush. It's a raspberry. So that's a berry that you can use in battle. Let me go ahead and demonstrate this. I wouldn't recommend using it against a Bellsprout though, but just to show you, there are a variety of berries that you can use that affect the chance of catching Pokemon or give you some other benefit. So in this case, you can get items more likely while you're using a Pineapple berry against it, but in this case, this makes it more easy to catch a Pokemon. You just use it from your bag, well, you select it from your bag, and then you choose Use. Now, I don't really want to do that, so we're going to just switch back to my Pokeball there. Oh, and also, you may notice Bellsprout kind of swiping its vines. If you try to throw a Pokeball at it while it's doing that, it will deflect it, and it will result in you being unable to catch the Pokemon. You definitely want to make sure you time it right. Probably won't be an issue in these early fights, but that's definitely something that can trip you up later on. Now, one final note for the berries. They apply their effects only for the next attempt to catch the Pokemon. So if you throw a ball and you have the Pokemon shaking inside of it, if it breaks out, then the effects of the berries no longer apply. However, if you miss the Pokemon, they will still apply. So keep that in mind. Now, as you see there, if you throw the ball right when the green circle is really close into the Pokemon, you can get an excellent catch, which gives you a much larger bonus than the normal. So try to do that. It's doable early on fairly easily, but later on in the game, it can get pretty difficult to do. It's still what you want to shoot for, though. Now, Pidgey also learned a flying-type move, Gust. That can be pretty helpful against some of the bug-type Pokemon you'll run into in the forest coming up. Yeah, sometimes they can just straight up jump over your Pokeballs. Little awkward when that happens, but it can happen. And as you progress further in the game, Pokemon will have even more annoying patterns to deal with. So, this is something I kind of want to talk about. I mentioned it in the previous video, but after you have a full team of 6 Pokemon, where do the Pokemon you catch go? Well, they end up in the Pokemon box. So let me go ahead and show you how to access them now that we actually have some Pokemon there. So you open up your menu here. You can go either to party or bag. Either's fine. If you go to the bag, you have to go to the Pokemon box option. If you go to the party, you can just press Y. Either way, you'll get to this menu here. Oh, I guess I already had a... Oh, well, it's fine. But anyway, as you can see, the ones numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, those are the ones that are in your party. But let's say we want to add this Pidgey to the party. Well, we can do add to party, and then we can replace a Pokemon that's in the party with that one. And as you can see now, this one says 6, And this one is stored in the PC, or in the Pokemon box as it's called. So there's another thing you can do, because do I really need 3 Rattata? No, I really don't. So you can send Pokemon to the professor. What this does is this will essentially release your Pokemon for good. You won't have it anymore. And you can't release anything from your team. But when you do that, you can receive some candy for your efforts there. Thank you for sending along a Pokemon. This will help a good deal with my research. That's it. I think you've earned some candy for all your help in getting me Pokemon to study. Candies make your Pokemon stronger, so use them on a Pokemon you'd like to train well. So the candy you get actually depends on the type of Pokemon that you send in. So this is great to do as you catch more Pokemon, but you find you don't really need this one. Maybe it doesn't have as good of stats. Maybe you just have too many. Maybe you're just trying to get experience. Sending all of your excess Pokemon is a good idea. You probably want to keep maybe 1 or 2 of each species, just in case. But you'll find these candies here. So in this case, the Quick Candy, that's something that you can use on one of your Pokemon to permanently increase its stats. Now, you may need a differing amount of candy as you feed more candy to your Pokemon, and at some point you might even need stronger candy after you've hit certain levels as well. But early on, this is still a great way to get a little bit of an extra bonus, so definitely do that. Alright, anyway, that pretty much covers Route 1 here. Let's take a quick look at Oddish, in case you're playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. And let's also take a quick look at, if you're playing on handheld mode, how much different it is. Now, I won't be playing on handheld, but here's a look at how the handheld mode functions. So when you're in a battle, when you're trying to catch a Pokemon, you can actually move your Switch around with the gyroscope feature, and then you can catch the Pokemon from there. You don't have to aim with the Joy-Cons, you just kind of position it with the, with the Switch, so it's a lot easier in my opinion. And also, if you want to get back to Pallet Town for whatever reason, you can just hop down these ledges and just head straight south. But otherwise, we are at the entrance here to the next destination, Viridian City. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in Viridian City on the next video. Thank you, Pidgey, for keeping me here longer than I needed to. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to check out my website, Marriland.com, for even more walkthrough coverage for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, as well as useful tools like the Team Builder. Also, be sure to subscribe to me on YouTube for even more Pokemon videos. See you next time, everyone!